UFC Vancouver. We've got Brendan Allen taking on Reinier de Ritter. I apologize for the lighting. My PC shit to bed, and I have a new one coming in soon, but we're going to have to deal with this for the time being. Anyways, I'm doing a full card breakdown. I'm predicting and breaking down every single fight on the card, starting with the early prelims, ending with the main event. This card's actually not bad. Let's get straight into it. First up, Melissa Croden versus Tainara Lisboa. I'm taking Tainara Lisboa, or however the fuck you say it. Melissa Croden has not fought, I don't think, anybody good in her entire career. I'm going to read off their records. You ready for this? 0-0, 0-0, 0-1, 0-0, 0-0, 1-0, 1-0, 5-4, 8-4, 8-6. What the fuck are we doing? There's no way that these are real people. And the UFC sees that and goes, yeah, let's sign her. What the why? Doesn't make any sense. Tainara Lisboa is actually a capable fighter, not meaning that she's good. She's not good. He lost to Luana Santos in her last fight by, believe it was a sub. She got subbed. I think it was like an Americana or like an omoplata. I don't remember. But she lost her last fight, but she's actually capable. She fought Ravina Oliveira, who's terrible, and she beat the shit out of her for 3 rounds. She actually has shown some upside, whereas this other Canadian chick who's the hometown fighter, I have not been impressed with one bit, and she hasn't even fought in the UFC yet. So if you're not even impressing me on the regional scene, then, you know, what am I supposed to think with you coming to the premier promotion? I'll take Tainara Lisboa. I think she gets it done by decision. Azamat Bakoyev versus Yusri Belgarui. Yusri Belgarui trains with Alex Pereira. He actually fought Alex Pereira in kickboxing. I'm going to look right now. I believe he fought Alex Pereira 3 times in kickboxing. Is that correct? He did. He fought him 3 times. He lost twice. He won the first one against Alex Pereira. He also fought Izzy. He lost to Izzy. But he is a really good kickboxer. I wouldn't say really good, but he is a solid kickboxer. This is his debut in the UFC. He fought on the Contender Series. He had a nice finish. I am going to take Azamat Bakoyev. I think Azamat Bakoyev is very well-rounded. As far as the grappling goes, I don't know if I trust Yusri Belgarui to be able to just stop that and pick his shots well at range. It's not so often that you get these kickboxers that come over and it just transfers like it doesn't from wrestling or jiu-jitsu. Like, that doesn't transfer as well because I feel like it gets exploited very easily. And Azamat Bakoyev is known to either put you out on the feet, which I think that he's smart enough to not do that. I think he's going to be able to just take him down and ground and pound finish him, which I think is going to happen in the first or second round. That's what I have here, is a first or second round ground and pound finish for Azamat Bakoyev. Until I see that Belgarui can grapple at a decently high level, I can't trust him really, especially against Bakoyev, who, like I said, is very, very well-rounded, and he is a very good offensive grappler. So I can't trust it if I haven't seen any of it. I haven't seen it. I'll take Azamat Bakoyev by early ground and pound finish here. Yeah. Moving on from that. Stephanie Luciano versus Ravina Oliveira. Ravina Oliveira, I'm going to read you every single record of the opponents that she has faced in her career. So Ravina Oliveira is 7-2-1. These are the records of the opponents she has faced. 0-1, 0-0, 0-0, 0-1, 1-1, 0-0, 0-0, 0-0, 8-5, 6-2. In the 6-2, she lost to Tainara Lisboa, who I said in the beginning isn't the best. Yeah, Ravina Oliveira is pulling her best Khabib impression, and she has been padding her MMA record for 9 years almost now. I'm not impressed with the film either. At least she's finishing these people, but Stephanie Luciano has actually fought good competition, and she's fought in the UFC for a couple fights now. I think she split her fights. She lost her last fight to Sam Hughes, which was a split decision, and I think Sam Hughes is actually a decently capable fighter. So if you're winning some moments and you're actually getting a scorecard handed to you against Sam Hughes, that's saying something. And Ravina Oliveira has fought like literal special needs people on the regional scene. I don't know how she's here. I have no fucking idea how she's here. I'm not even going to go further. Like, all I have to do is tell you the records, and I hope you get what I'm trying to say. Like, what are we doing? Moving on. Kyle Prepolek versus Drew Dober. So Kyle Prepolek has been kind of my, before I go in on why it is I'm about to do what I'm about to do, I'm going to tell you I am taking Kyle Prepolek. I thought I was crazy. Then I started watching some other prediction videos, and I saw some other people taking Kyle Prepolek. So it confirms I'm not completely crazy. I think one of the big YouTubers that I watched, I don't remember who it was, but someone big took Kyle Prepolek too. And I'm going to do it too. So Kyle Prepolek has been kind of I've used it as kind of a joke on this channel, as like, I'm a hardcore. Do you guys know who Kyle Prepolek is? If you don't, you're not hardcore. I am. That kind of thing. As like a joke. He's not good at fighting, I don't think. He's not, at least I don't know if he deserves to be in the UFC. And in saying that, you're probably thinking, well, why the f are you picking him against Drew Dober then? For one, I think Drew Dober is very washed. He's not as fast as he used to be. His fight style hasn't changed since losing his chin. So his chin's been cracked a few times now, like a handful of times, pretty badly. And usually when you see guys who have their chins shattered like that, they usually tend to either the next fight after that or the fight after that, you see that they kind of have a switch in the way that it is that they fight, and they're not so gung-ho to just go into a brawl or try and get into a war and exchange shots. They're a little bit more defensively responsible. Drew Dober hasn't done that. He's gone into every fight doing the same thing, just marauding forward, having a terrible guard around him, just getting pinged with shots. And his style of fighting, it's fun to watch, but it's not going to work anymore if his chin's cracked and he can get wobbled by literally anything. And Kyle Prepolek, in his last fight against Benoit Saint-Denis, he stepped in on, I don't know, less than a week's notice. Benoit was supposed to run through him. And to be fair, he did sub him in the second round. But Kyle Prepolek had actually a couple decent moments in that fight where you were like, hold on, there's some resistance here. He just won a decent moment right there. What the hell's going on? That says something to me. I'm not saying at all that he's good, because he's 18-9 and he's not won in the UFC. I think he's 0-3 in the UFC. Am I correct about this? He's 0-3 in the UFC. Yeah. I'm taking him to beat Drew Dober. I'm taking him by TKO. I think it happens maybe early. I think it's a TKO at some point. I can't trust Drew Dober's chin, and I can't trust his chin combined with his style of getting into a brawl every single time. Yeah, I'm taking a sizable underdog here with Kyle Prepolek. Moving on. Danny Barlow versus Jordan Santos. I'm taking Danny Barlow here. I'm not impressed with Danny Barlow, though. I won't lie. I don't know if he's actually that good, which says something about Jordan Santos. I think he's even worse. For one, the main reason when I saw this fight get booked was I immediately looked to Jordan Santos and I was like, I only remember him fighting one time in the UFC, and it was against Ozzy Diaz. So I looked, and that was the only time he fought. And he lost to Ozzy Diaz, who I think needs to get a new profession because he's terrible at fighting. And you're losing to him. Like, no, I will not be taking Jordan Santos to win a UFC fight probably ever. But Danny Barlow, I think, is a little bit overrated. Yeah, I'm just not impressed. He's chinny and he looks a little bit sloppy at times. I mean, we saw it against Sam Patterson. He looked okay, but then he got clipped and he went out early. I mean, it was like, what the heck? And he was I'm pretty sure he was like a minus 300 favorite in that fight. I did pick Sam Patterson. I called that. Anyways, sorry. I had to toot my own horn a little bit. And then before that, it's Nikolai Veretnikov or Veretenikov, however the you want to say that inbred's name. And he wins a split decision. You're going to the scorecards with a guy that I think is terrible. I do not think that Veretnikov is very good. People talk about that guy's stand-up like he's some force to be reckoned with on the feet. I have never been impressed with that guy's stand-up. I'm going to be honest. It's calculated to a certain extent. A lot of the strikes that he throws, they're telegraphed. It looks like he's like, okay, I'm going to do this, this, and this. And then he throws it, but then the other guy like counters him and he has nothing else. He thinks on like one circuit. And you're barely beating him. That doesn't look good to me. So I'm taking Danny Barlow. I'm not happy about it, but I do think he wins this handedly because if you're losing to Ozzy Diaz like Jordan Santos did, that's fucking embarrassing. I'll take Danny Barlow. I think he gets it done by first round TKO. After that, we have Bruno Silva versus Hyun Sung Park. This is a really tough one, and a lot of people are taking Hyun Sung Park. I'm taking Bruno Silva, who is a sizable underdog in this as well. A lot of people have Hyun Sung Park by TKO. I think Bruno Silva is a very tricky customer, and people are looking at Bruno Silva like, oh, he lost back. He's lost back-to-back fights. The Joshua Van loss was really, really bad. This kind of level of a flyweight, I think he handles. He's been in there with he was in there with Cody Durden, who I think is actually not terrible. He's not good, but he's not terrible. And he worked in. And then after that, they give him Manel Kape. I think Manel Kape is probably in that top 3, probably at flyweight, top 4 maybe. And then it's Joshua Van. It's like, yeah, most people at flyweight are losing to both of those guys. I understand that he took a beating in both of them, but he is a tricky guy to put away. And Joshua Van and Manel Kape have very, very high finishing potential. I don't know if Hyun Sung Park has that type of finishing potential against these guys in the rankings just yet, because we haven't seen him fight anybody in the rankings. And the only person it was Tatsuro Taira on like a week's notice, less than a week's notice, and I can't remember him winning a single exchange in that fight. And it barely went 2 rounds. The fight went 6 minutes and 6 seconds. I can't remember a single time that he landed something of substance, that he won a scramble, nothing. So the only thing that I have to go off of him fighting people in the rankings is him just getting fucking mauled the whole time. I can't justify him winning against a veteran in Bruno Silva. I just can't do it. So I'm taking Bruno Silva. I think he wins this by close decision. I do think it is going to be a really close fight, because I think that they're both very, very well-rounded. I just don't know what level Hyun Sung Park is just yet. Yeah, I'll take Bruno Silva. After that, we have Charles Jourdain versus Davy Grant. I have a love-hate relationship with this fucker Davy Grant, man. I'm taking Charles Jourdain. Oh my god, I don't want to take Charles Jourdain. It seems that every time I pick Davy Grant, he loses. And then every time I don't pick him, he fucking wins. Which happened against Damon Blackshear, which was hard to watch. But anyways, Davy Grant, for one, he's slowing down, I've noticed. Not a ton, because he's obviously, he beat Damon Blackshear. That's no small task. But the ways that he lands his shots and the ways that he puts people down is by looping shots around the guard, throwing these big, drawn-out hooks almost, and it works. But it only works against a certain style, I think, of a guy who kind of just shells up and doesn't try and intercept that and cut you off with a straight shot down the pipe or something of that nature. Charles Jourdain does that very well. That's why I'm taking him. I think that if Davy Grant does end up throwing those shots, as he does, he's going to, actually. He always does, where he tries to throw those big shots around the guard. Charles Jourdain does a very, very good job of sniping that off and getting on the inside, hitting you with an uppercut in close, simply just stepping in and firing a right hand down the pipe. Something like that. He's good at intercepting those kinds of exchanges. And we saw it actually against Sean Woodson, who's a very, very hard guy to figure out. Sean Woodson is like 6'1" or 6'2" at 145 pounds. Of the 6'2", like 5'6" of it is his legs. It's just like a hard guy to figure out. And Davy Grant has kind of a weird build too. So I don't know why, this is kind of just a hunch that I have. I can trust Charles Jourdain to kind of figure out some weird looking because I've seen him do it before. And you're probably like, oh, well, Charles Jourdain lost to Sean Woodson. But like Sean Woodson's, like, he lost the fight, but he was winning good exchanges. It was a decently close fight. So I think Charles Jourdain wins this. And because I'm saying that, he's probably going to lose. Just don't trust me on this fight, I guess. Or the next one for that matter. Moving on. Kyle Nelson versus Matt Frevola. Good Lord. I'm going to take Matt Frevola. Oh, Jesus. I just said that in 2025. I'm like angry at myself for even hearing those words come out of my mouth. Holy shit. This guy's a fucking mess. His last 6 fights, only 1 has gone to the 3rd round. And it was against Frez Ziyam, which if you remember correctly, he got put the out bad by a knee. And as of recent, actually, kind of similar finishes in the sense that he's like exiting and he goes to like turn toward the guy and there's something waiting for him. Kind of funny. That doesn't have play into this pick at all, but I just don't think Kyle Nelson is good. I don't know, man. I think Matt Frevola can mix in grappling a little bit better maybe than Kyle Nelson can. Oh my God. And the only real highlight that I can remember from Kyle Nelson is him putting away Bill Algeo. Is that right? Did he fight Bill Algeo? He did. Yes, that's right. Dude, and I'm going to be honest, I think Bill Algeo is fucking horrendous at fighting. That's a bit extreme. He's not that bad, but like still, I mean, that's the highlight on your resume is Bill Algeo. You know, at least Matt Frevola has Drew Dober. At least he has Jalen Turner, you know. He's beaten guys who actually have a name for themselves and have been successful at lightweight. I trust Matt Frevola to mix in the grappling a little bit and win a decision. It's either that or he gets put the fuck... I don't know. I don't want to pick a winner. I'm taking Matt Frevola. I don't care. Cody Gibson versus Aori Quilang, if that's how you say it correctly. Never been able to get that guy's name right for as long as I've been studying this goddamn sport. I'm taking Cody Gibson. And again, I'm saying that in 2025. Why is this on the main card? I'm just now realizing that. Why the fuck is this here? Okay, I mean, I guess. Bruno Silva's on the card, man. Davey Grant's on the card. Drew Dober's on the card. Why is this? Okay, sorry. Yeah, I'm taking Cody Gibson. I'm saying that in 2025. I'm saying Cody Gibson is going to win a... Good Lord. The Mongolian murderer, as they call him, Aori Quilang. He looked okay against Raul Rosas, but he didn't, you know, like it was a shit fight. Before that, he fights Daniel Marcos. For one, the Mongolian murderer, you can't trust him to... His record in the UFC is 3-4-1. You just kind of don't know what you're getting from him, and he's fought virtually the same level of competition the whole time in the UFC. And Cody Gibson, you can bank on one thing, maybe not so much that he's going to win or lose, but more so the fact that he's kind of just a spaz, and he's going to be at your neck from the first bell. I mean, we saw it against Damon Blackshear. He was winning handedly, and he had Damon Blackshear in a lot of trouble before Damon Blackshear finally woke up from a nap and decided to actually fight. Cody Gibson's been in there with better competition. He's reliable in the sense that he's always a spaz and he's always going to try and overwhelm his opponent. And I think I can trust him to do that against the Mongolian murderer. This is a terrible fight. Why the fuck is this on the main card? Moving on, I guess. I don't know. I'm not breaking this thing down. Manon Fiorot versus Jasmine Jasudavicius. I'm taking Manon Fiorot. So Jasudavicius, when she can't get off her grappling and she fights someone who does know how to dig an underhook, who does know how to split their stance, who does know how to break the hands from a body lock, and she's forced to strike, she gets fucked up, dude. Her stand-up is very, very iffy. Manon Fiorot has shown that she can grapple defensively and offensively. She tried to do it a lot against Valentina. Didn't really work. She kind of just held her up against the fence the whole time. Manon Fiorot does know how to sprawl really well. She can defend a takedown very, very well. And her stand-up is incredibly sharp. So I can only imagine if she is able to stop the takedowns like I think she can, she is going to piece up Jasudavicius for 15 straight minutes. So yeah, I have her winning a 30-27 decision. I think that it's kind of just a nightmare matchup for Jasmine Jasudavicius. Yeah, I just really don't like the style matchup here for her. She needs to get off her grappling in order to win, but I don't think she's going to be able to do that in this one. So I'll take Manon Fiorot. I think she's actually solid. Even in the Valentina fight, as boring as it was decently close. I'll take Fiorot by 30-27 decision. Next up, Chito Vera versus Ayman Zahabi. I'm taking Zahabi. A little while back, as in, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, for Chito Vera, the story with him was don't let him get into the later rounds. If you let him get in the later rounds, he's going to be able to pick up a read and he's going to get you. But now, I'm just like, dude, he kind of just like stands there and just relies on the fact that he can't get put out and just like hopes he finds something. Which is kind of a shame too, because I do believe that he does have the talent and the power and the speed, and he does just have the pieces to be able to put it together and to be able to put people away, but he just fucking doesn't. And he tries to play this like tit for tat game, and it's not even tit for tat. He's kind of like almost just there to look cool. And fights just get away from him, and he just gets mauled. We saw it against Corey Sandhagen, and it says split decision. I'm forgetting that was almost one of the worst robberies I've ever seen. He gets gifted a Pedro Munoz win. He gets mauled by Sean O'Malley, and he gets mauled by Davison, and he just doesn't do anything the whole fight. Whereas Ayman Zahabi, he always has a good game plan, because his brother, the other Zahabi brother, which is George St. Pierre's coach, for those that don't know, he always has a good game plan going into fights. And Ayman Zahabi, for one, he's very, very gritty. And for two, I guess that is too also gritty in the sense like defensively, you're going to have to put him completely out in order for him to stop. And offensively on the back end of that, he's always kind of pressing forward and he's always trying to win. We saw it against Aldo, actually. I don't need to remind you guys. You guys saw the Aldo fight. He's always moving. He's always trying. And against Cheeto's just going to stand there and take punishment, I think. If we get a Cheeto Vera where he somehow flips a switch and he actually tries to engage in combat, maybe we see a Cheeto Vera win, but I just don't see that happening. I'm taking Ayman Zahabi. I'm taking him by decision because Cheeto Vera can't really get finished, it seems. So, yeah, moving on from that. Kevin Holland versus Mike Malott. I'm taking Mike Malott here. I don't know why, but I always feel very confident taking Mike Malott when he's fighting in Canada for whatever reason. I don't know why. He's a performer. I don't know. I feel like his stats get boosted. So his stats get boosted. It's a home game for him, you know? And I used to hate this fuck because I picked him to win against Neil Magny. Obviously, he got ground and pounded, but he beat Trevin Giles. I think that's impressive. And then after that, I took him to get the shit kicked out of him by Charles Radke, and that definitely didn't happen. He beat the f*** out of Charles Radke. I've been impressed with him, and he's a very powerful guy, and I think he's gonna be wary of the fact that Kevin Holland does have very good darces, and he has a very good submission game. He's good off his back. There's that. And Kevin Holland's chin worries me, man. I used to think that it did. It used to be really, really good. Stephen Thompson was landing flush head kicks, and Kevin Holland was right there the whole time. But then he gets knocked down by Oleg Shachek, and then most recently it was Roman Dolidze, and he has this rib injury, which I was actually there live to watch that one. And then it was Reinier de Ritter, where he just gets mauled and subbed. That's not so much his chin, and then it was D-Rod, and I'm sorry, people aren't gonna like that I'm saying this, but I think Daniel Rodriguez fucking sucks, bro. He's so untechnically sound. He's got hands. I get it. He's a little powerful. A little. I wouldn't say he's like some KO artist. But Daniel Rodriguez is ringing your fucking bell. I don't like that. And Mike Malott's a very powerful guy. I see Mike Malott getting a submission here. I think that he's going to be able to get a submission. And Kevin Holland, he's doing this thing again where he acts like he doesn't care. There was an interview like the other day, and I don't even know, he's probably not being serious, but he's like, I didn't even know who I was fighting. Dude, you are a retard. I can't stand him, bro. I'm sorry. I can't stand him. And in the reverse of that, Mike Malott is probably fighting like this is his last day on earth because he's fighting in front of his hometown. This is life or death for him. He's got to win in front of the home fans. He's got the motivation behind it. Where Kevin Holland's is like, I don't even know who the fuck I'm fighting. I'm retarded. I don't know who I'm fighting. Funny, right, guys? Like, I can't fucking stand this prick, dude. Matter of fact, I hope Kevin Holland gets subbed inside of 30 seconds, bro. You get paid way too much money to just be talking about, I don't even know what's going on. I'm fighting Mike Malott. I had no idea. Dude, shut up. You're getting paid tons of money. Act like you care. Moving on. Brendan Allen versus Reinier de Ritter. I'm taking de Ritter, as most people I think are. If there is something that you can bet on, bet on Brendan Allen trying to pull a sub from somewhere that it shouldn't be pulled from. Because, dude, I'm not kidding when I say this. I think Brendan Allen's IQ could be single digits. I'm not kidding. He has the IQ of a fucking doorknob. He's so stupid. In the fight against Vettori, I think he tried to like pull a leg lock or something from like top half guard. That's probably not true, but he pulled a sub, I remember, from somewhere that he should not have pulled a sub from. He was in a dominant position. He could have started raining ground and pound or something, and he just like pulled a sub. I don't remember if it was a guillotine or he pulled a leg lock or what it was. And I was like, there it is. So if you can bet somehow on Brendan Allen doing something retarded, if that's a bet somewhere, dump your life savings into it. He's gonna do it. He does it every fight. He's a fucking retard. And this fight will go to the ground at some point. DeRitter is a very, very good grappler, not in terms of his wrestling, but his submission game is very, very slick. And DeRitter is a weirdly big middleweight. He has this weird size advantage over most of these people that he fights. And he does a very good job. People talk about the knees. You would think that these guys that he fights, the story is always going up to the fight. Oh, you got to watch out for his knees. He's going to get you up against the fence. He's going to get you into a clinch and knee you to the body, and you're not going to be able to take it. He's going to tire you out. Keep landing knees, keep wearing you down, and then you're going to have to defend a shot while your body's all fucked up against the fence, and he's going to take you down and sub you. And that's the story. And you would think that people would go, okay, let's make a game plan to stop that. But they can't stop it. Robert Whittaker, I think, is still... People think Whittaker's washed. I don't think Whittaker's washed. Whittaker couldn't stop it. I think Robert Whittaker is really good, and he would still beat the majority of the people in the top 15. DeRitter's going to be able to land those knees. Brendan Allen, I do think, is going to be able to have a little bit of an edge on the feet. But DeRitter wears on people, especially in 5 rounds. And he did look sloppy against Whittaker in the later rounds, and he did get rocked, and he was probably 1 or 2 good shots away from being put out and the fight being stopped. But he doesn't stop, dude. He doesn't stop. He gets you against the fence. He tires you out. He wears you down. And eventually, I think that he's going to be able to get a sub against Brendan Allen, who gives up terrible positions. He's a good grappler, but he's retarded. He's a fucking retard. It's like dude, sometimes I'm watching a Brendan Allen fight, and I'm literally asking myself, does this guy want to lose? Does this guy have money on the other guy? I've literally asked myself that before when I've watched Brendan Allen fights, because there's no way, because before him, I thought that there was no possible way that a fighter could be that stupid and just give up dominant position, go for a guillotine late in the fight when they're all sweaty, go for arm bars just for no fucking reason. And if you do that against DeRitter, he pounces on it, man. Especially with like an arm triangle or something, or if you roll and try in a scramble and you give him your back, I think he's going to wring your neck, dude, because he's done it before in the past, and he's fought really good competition in and out of the UFC. I can see him getting a sub here. I have him by late sub against Brendan Allen in round 3 or 4. I just can't trust Brendan Allen, man. This whole breakdown has literally been me calling Brendan Allen retarded, but I don't care. I think he's that stupid. I think from a technical standpoint, I think he is solid, but he's really dumb. I think if you're dumb around DeRitter, especially when it comes to the ground game, I don't think that he's going to let you slide with that. So I'm taking Reinier DeRitter. I'm taking him by late sub. Yeah, that's the whole card. I appreciate you guys for watching. I'm sorry again for the lighting and everything, but I got the new PC coming soon. And then actually I'm going to be pumping out more videos, because one of the reasons for people who care about this channel, you can watch this. Everyone else is probably already tuned out. Like and subscribe for all the people that are leaving right now. And one of the reasons I haven't been able to upload as many videos as I've wanted to, my computer is... You would think that it's ran by a toaster. This thing is a piece of shit. Editing videos on it, I'll click one thing and the whole shit will freeze, and I have to wait a good 15-20 seconds before I can click something else. So editing videos has been a nightmare for the past however many months, and I caved in and I bought a PC, and I'm going to be pumping out a lot of videos because I can finally edit. Yeah, that's my rant. Sorry, but I appreciate you guys, and yeah, I will see you in the next one. Peace.